I believe that everybody in here, on a bad day, needs 10 pieces of content a day. I believe that you should be putting out somewhere between 5 and 15 posts on social media a day. I think you should be posting 8 to 15 times a day on LinkedIn.
Get out of here.
Yep.
If you follow Gary Vee, then you should be used to him saying this. So I dedicated my time to researching him. I looked into his YouTube account, his Instagram account, and his LinkedIn account for one purpose: to see if he actually does what he says. And what I found, well, it will change how you think about content completely. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the results of my research. How often does Gary Vee post? And then compare its volume to what a normal person posts, and then see if the volume actually is the reason for much of his success. So let's dive in. This 90 days includes January, February, and March of this year. So let's start with YouTube. In 90 days, Gary Vee posted 32 long form videos and 240 shorts. Let's break that down. That is about 2 to 3 long videos per week and 18 to 19 shorts per week. 18 to 19 shorts per week. That gives us roughly 3 videos per day. Now pause, because according to research, the average YouTuber posts there about just 1 to 3 long videos per week and maybe 3 to 7 shorts per week. So in essence, Gary is doing the top end of long form and also 3 times or 4 times the number of shorts usually recommended. He is not just consistent, he is aggressive. Now let's talk LinkedIn. This one is actually insane. In 90 days, Gary does 540 total posts, 153 videos, and 5 carousels. Articles, basically none. What that means is Gary does 60 posts per week and 8 to 9 posts per day on LinkedIn alone. But let that sink in, because the average person on LinkedIn posts there about 2 to 5 times per week. In fact, most professionals advise that you post just 2 to 3 times a week. Now, iGoat creators could go about 6 to 10 times a week. But Gary, no, Gary posts 60 times a week. And that is not double, that is not triple, that is 10 times the amount the professionals would ordinarily suggest as aggressive. And now here's the crazy part: only about 1% of LinkedIn users post once a week. So where most people are fighting over whether they should post or not, Gary is flooding the platform daily. Now to his Instagram account. In 90 days, he has 168 feed posts and there are about 69 reels. Now that's about 2 reels per week, 14 posts per week, and roughly 2 posts per day. And let's compare that to what is considered optimal, which is 3 to 5 posts per week. Gary is doing 3 to 5 times that amount, and again consistently. So what does all this actually mean? Apart from the fact that it is obvious Gary does what he teaches, it also means that Gary practices what he preaches. Well, when people hear Gary Vee says post more, what they think it means is post more than what you are comfortable with. But that is not what it means. He's actually challenging you to change how you think about posting, to completely uproot what you consider normal and set an extremely high standard for yourself. Now here is an overview of the pattern I noticed with Gary's content. First, it dominates volume, not slightly more, not twice as much, but exponentially more. So while you wake up every morning debating whether or not you should post, Gary most likely has posted 2 or 3 times across all platforms. Mind you, my research only covered his YouTube, his Instagram, and his LinkedIn account. He is very active on TikTok, he's active on MySpace, and he's also active on X. And only God knows what other platform he's experimenting with, because we all know Gary Vee is an early adopter of new platforms. 2, he plays every format. What does that mean? Let's look at the breakdown. He does long form videos, shorts, native posts, videos, and carousels. That means he's not relying on just one form of content. He's everywhere. And why? Because every platform rewards something different. And instead of guessing what works or waiting for some form of blueprint, he just deals all of it. 3, Gary removes perfection from the equation. Now this one is key because the only way you can post at that obsessive level is if you are not too bothered with perfection. Don't get me wrong, Gary's videos are not bad. They are actually good, but they are not perfect. That means editing are not done to wow you. He focuses on the quality of what he has to pass on. He focuses on value rather than aesthetics and editing gimmicks. So now let's do an overall comparison of Gary Vee to the average creator. Average creator, 1 YouTube video per week. Instagram, probably 3 to 5 posts per week. LinkedIn, maybe 2 posts per week or 5. Total, maybe 6 to 15 posts per week. Now Gary Vee, YouTube, 21 pieces per week. LinkedIn, 60 posts per week. Instagram, 14 posts per week. Total, 95 pieces of content per week. Crazy. That is not a small difference. Gary Vee is playing on an entirely different field, way ahead of 99.9% of personal brands online. So the question is that why he's influential? Is that why he has gathered a lot of following on all of these platforms? The short answer to that is yes. And it is not just because of volume, but what volume does. Volume simply gives him more chance to win. You must understand that if you post once a week, you got 4 chances to go viral in a month. If you post 90 times in a week, you have exponentially increased the probability of going viral. Mind you, as long as you retain value in everything that you post. Another thing, volume gives him raw data, actual workable data. Every post tells you something: what worked, what didn't, what people care about. If you post 5 times a week, it takes months to learn. But if you post 95 times a week, you can learn a lot in just days. Also, volume keeps him top of mind. What does that mean? Simple. Attention is a game of repetition. The more people see you, the more they remember you. The more they remember you, the higher the chances of them coming to you if they need a solution for something. Now here's the part nobody talks about. I am in full support of posting a lot, if possible more than Gary. But circumstances differ, work ethics differ, motivation differ. So posting 90 times might be unrealistic to you. But the purpose of this video, especially for those looking to build their personal brand, is to give you a different perspective when it comes to volume. Once you see that volume wins, it will drastically help you adjust your strategy accordingly. How much, I don't know, but at least you know that the more you post, the higher the chances of you getting noticed. So Gary Vee does not just talk about posting aggressively, he does it. He lives what he preaches, and he's doing it consistently. This man is on a league on his own. There are only a few personal brands that move at this space. So if ever you're thinking Gary Vee has some secret to why he's as popular and influential as he is, well, there is no secret. This is the secret, or one of them. Post aggressively, post consistently. Aggressively and consistently would most likely win the game for you than any other thing you can imagine. If you're looking to build your personal brand and everything I've said is seeming like a burden to you, you don't have to carry it alone. I run an agency and I work with professionals, consultants, business experts looking to build their personal brand. Posting aggressively and consistently is possible if you have a strong support system. That system is what we provide for our clients. So if you're interested in this system, reach out to me through any of the links in the description of this video or the description of this YouTube channel. See you in the next video.